Alright, boys. Another day, another cut content from AniNews. Very needed cut content, I think, this time. People are hyping up this cut content. It's gonna be very, very needed because this time around, a lot happened in that second half, right? A lot happened in that second half. So let's see what AniNews got for us today.
With so many climactic moments.
Wait, is audio good? Audio good? We good?
With so many climactic moments happening all at the same time, what comes with it is a lot of content that needs to be talked about.
Alright.
There's the missing parts of Elsa's fight with Garfiel, a whole perspective to the battle with the Guiltylow that we weren't even given, a deeper explanation to the numerous visions from EMILIA'S trial, and finally an encounter with a witch that alludes to something more. All of which we'll cover as we go through what the anime didn't include from the novel.
Alright, let's go.
Let's begin. Episode 48, Love You Down to Your Blood and Guts. Covering Chapter 3 to Chapter 6 of Volume 15 of the light novel. As we jump straight into the continued fight between Elsa and Garfiel, we find Garfiel to be getting pushed back by Elsa's superior skill.
Right.
Mainly because no two of the same attacker technique would ever work on her. After she had witnessed something only once, Elsa was sure to counter it the next time with a very precise shift in movement, allowing her to follow it up with a very damaging punish afterward.
She
While
adapts.
this did initially put Garfiel at a very significant disadvantage, he was eventually able to come up with a plan that would counter her counter. And that was the initial strike that we saw in the anime. What Garfiel did was he basically led his charge with an attack that Elsa had already seen before. This was in hopes of getting her to counter with an attack of her own. He wanted Elsa to open herself up by forcing her to go on the offensive. Sure enough, Elsa followed through with a counter just like he'd expected. She struck his leg with a slash of her knife that carved straight through his right foot all the way to his femur.
Oh.
Had Garfiel positioned himself any lower, then Elsa would have been able to cut his leg off right there. But
oh my god. Yeah, there's a lot of fucking layers to what the fuck? That would have been bad. You imagine his leg would have got cut off? Oh, it would have been GG's.
Because this was something he was expecting, he was able to minimize the damage and follow through with his own devastating attack. A counter that was only possible due to his absolute trust in his opponent's ability. What I mean is that, because he fully believed in Elsa's flawless technique and intuition, he was able to land what should have been a fatal blow.
Wow.
As we saw though, that turned out to be nothing more than a minor inconvenience. Switching over to Subaru, the fight between him and the Guiltylow was actually given from both their perspectives. It was a much more interesting portrayal of this demon beast than what we saw in the anime.
Oh.
Rather than making him look like nothing more than a wild animal, the Guiltylow was instead made out to be as this fairly intelligent creature.
Oh. Yeah, I low-key... he's calling it Guiltylow? What? It's Guiltylow, at least for me, but... So what? It's actually like an intelligent creature? I low-key thought it like didn't really think like that. I thought it was like a random I thought it just like didn't really think like that. Okay, that's actually something I did not know. One
whose very reason for living was for the thrill of the hunt.
Oh.
So a lot of the stuff we don't see in the anime is how this Black King of the Forest perceived its prey.
Black King of the Forest? Okay.
In the beginning, what mattered most to the king was that its prey be worthy of hunting. To be able to kill a strong opponent with his own fangs was all this demon beast could have ever hoped for. But everything that went to make the hunt so enjoyable for him was now being tainted by the helpless prey he was after. To him, they were far too weak and thoughtless to even consider them such. Even so, this apex predator wasn't about to defy the orders of its master. Because she had saved him from the curse of its horn, the Guiltylow knew that it owed Melee a significant...
The curse of its horn? What curse? She saved... So what? Melee saved this, this Guiltylow, and like now he's like very thankful and just like starts pulling up on people now because he's thankful.
Significant debt. So it had no intentions of letting any of her targets go.
Okay.
He was just disappointed that they were a lot weaker than he was expecting. As the Guiltylow tracked the sound of their footsteps throughout the mansion, he moved with a level of agility that showed why he was worthy of the name Shadowline. Then, as soon as he believed he had finally caught up, he turned the corner and swung his claws in an attack that he knew was sure to hit. But rather than there being a bloodied corpse like how he thought there to be, what he found instead was absolutely nothing. The presence he was tracking had completely vanished. It was now coming from a completely different direction. Seeing as how he'd just been played, The king felt that maybe his prey wasn't as weak as he initially thought they were.
Hell no.
Perhaps they were fools actually worthy of dying to his fangs. So once again, the Guiltylow commenced his pursuit. When he finally caught up to the footsteps for a second time, standing before him was actually one of the targets he'd been chasing. But it was right as he found him that he also heard his master calling for him. As much as he felt compelled to follow her orders and leave, he also didn't want to let the prey standing in front of him get away either.
Ah, so that's why he kept going. Okay. That does make sense, actually. So that's why he just kept fucking going. Curse of Horn is going crazy to do some wish stuff. Okay. I mean, yeah, you can kind of just assume that. Okay.
So the Guiltylow decided that it would dispatch the target quickly, then go back to melee after. It was then that the human ran into a room that looked to be like a dead end, leading the king to believe that it was preparing itself for one final duel. But that hope for an honorable challenge was quickly dashed when the target just ran straight into a smaller room, bringing us to the scenes that we saw in the anime.
Okay.
In the end, the Guiltylow's final thoughts were of what was going to happen to its forest.
The Black King of the Forest had left the wilds, gaining a master, and to the very end wondered about the throne it had left vacant. I don't know how to say that. Vacant. Yeah, okay.
I mean, it was after all the king. So, having been defeated by some unknown enemy that he couldn't even see,
GG's.
The king couldn't help but wonder what was going to happen to his vacant throne.
Vacant.
Now,
okay.
If you're wondering how exactly Subaru and the others were able to deceive their enemy, well, that's because Otto had used his magic to create fake footsteps and eliminate their scent.
Oh!
It was pretty much the same thing he did when he was trying to get the upper hand on Garfiel. But anyway, because the Guiltylow was the only beast immune to the effects of the Repel Stone, Subaru was able to easily take Petra and Otto to the study on the upper floor. He then directed them to a hidden passageway behind one of the bookshelves.
Yeah.
An underground path that led straight to the outside and exited far beyond the perimeter of demon beasts.
That's huge.
So this was where Subaru had split up with the other two. And while it is where we would switch over to Emilia, rather than go back and forth between Sanctuary and the mansion, we'll instead talk about the rest of Elsa and Garfiel's fight now, then take a look at Emilia's trial after.
Okay.
The initial parts to this epic battle were pretty much as we saw. But right as the two charged at each other and were about to collide, that's when Melee's rock pig had crashed into the building.
Yeah, that's
Garfield was
annoying.
shocked to see such a beast appear as if out of nowhere. But what shocked him more was the fact that it was being ordered around by such a little girl.
Yeah.
It was obvious that this was the Beastmaster Subaru had been referring to. When Frederica brought him up to speed with the situation, the reason he got so mad was because of the number of injuries he could see on her. Her ragged breathing and pale face from all the blood she'd lost was more than enough to indicate she'd been taking on numerous other demon beasts along with this massive one. So, as his composure began to shift from focus to anger, Frederica had to remind him that she too was skilled enough in combat.
Oh, so it's just what? It's just Garfield caring for for his sister, man. Oh, that's wholesome.
Sure, she may not have trained every day like how he had, but she was still a maid of the Mathers family.
Exactly.
A statement that forced Garfield to remember just how strong one of the Mathers mates could be. So, while it did convince him that Frederica was fine holding her own, it didn't change the fact that he was still very angry.
Fair.
As for Elsa and Melee, well, there was an interesting bit of context given here regarding the fate of the Guiltylow. You see, Elsa immediately noticed that the number of demon beasts remaining were low. While part of the reason for this was Frederica's involvement and the presence of a fire, another factor affecting their decreasing numbers was the lack of the king. Yes, Melee was the beast tamer, but the Shadow Lion was a significant help in keeping many of the other demon beasts in line as well.
Oh, I did not know that. That's interesting. So even if even if Melee's like the one controlling, if the fucking Shadow Lion, the Guiltylow, is just fucking cooked, then the other beasts are just like, ah, hell no, I'm not following that guy. Huh.
Even if he was a hassle to keep under control, the benefits of bringing him with her far outweighed the negatives. Well, at least that was if he stayed alive. Since the Guiltylow was now dead though, managing the remaining demon beasts had now become a lot more difficult. In any case,
Hierarchy?
with the two pairs of siblings now facing off against each other, Melee was becoming a bit concerned with Elsa's focus on someone who wasn't even a target. The fact that she was pretty much abandoning her job had made Melee warn her about the scolding that was sure to come from a person she called Mama.
Elsa, have you already forgotten what we came here to do? Mama's gonna scold us. Who's Mama?
We don't exactly know who this person is,
Oh,
but
okay.
it's most
Well,
likely that she's the one who's in charge of the assassin organization.
Okay, that makes sense.
Regardless of what her punishment was going to be, though, Elsa was committed to completing her showdown against Garfiel, and so too was Garfiel committed to doing the same, both unwilling to allow anyone else to interfere. Now, one of the aspects that didn't make it into the fight was a creative tactic used by Elsa to try and catch Garfiel by surprise. She had charged in for an attack all while purposely leaving herself open, giving Garfiel no choice but to take advantage of the opportunity she was presenting him with. So, as he countered with a strike that removed Elsa's entire left arm from her torso,
Jesus.
the blade she was holding in that hand had mysteriously vanished.
What? Say that again? It removed Elsa's entire left arm from her torso. So that's what that did? The fuck?
Countered with a strike that removed Elsa's entire left arm from her
The existence of Mama means melee is in the top of the chain in the mob beast hierarchy. Got it.
torso. The blade she was holding in that hand had mysteriously vanished. Only after hearing the high screeching sounds of it bouncing off the walls did Garfiel realize that it was being deflected straight towards the back of his head. Since Elsa was about to recover and attack him one more time, he wasn't able to just turn around and deal with it. So, once again, Garfiel had been caught between a pincer attack of blades from both sides.
Yikes.
Luckily for him, a corpse of a demon beast was right next to his feet, giving him something to kick up into the air between himself and the blade flying right at him.
Oh, that's fucking genius.
While it didn't reduce the force of the impact, it did prevent the blade from piercing his skull. But the heavy hit that came with it had spun him around in a way that opened himself up to a fatal attack. It left him with no choice but to use his Blessing of the Earth Spirit to project himself right into the air.
Yeah.
With Elsa still in the motion of charging at where he was, Garfiel was able to grab her face while in the air, then use partial transformation to rip most of it to shreds.
Yeah, someone mentioned it was a partial transformation. Okay, yeah.
His claws had reached so far into her skull that even her regenerative ability wasn't enough to save her from the pain of it.
Oh,
so it was only natural that Elsa began to scream as her body and face were being ripped to literal pieces. But even that wasn't enough to diminish her spirit. Now, after the rock pig had charged in to join the fight, the way it met its death was a little bit different in the novels. Garfiel didn't exactly use some weird wrestling move to rip its head off. Instead, he took advantage of the pig's weak spot. What the anime didn't quite show was that Garfiel had been trying to use his claws to rip into the hide of the rock pig's exterior. But with every swing he made, his claws would just end up breaking and he himself would get pushed further backwards, eventually resulting in Garfiel getting pushed straight onto his back. Since the rock pig was trying to end this as fast as possible, it raised its front legs in an attempt to stomp Garfiel's face in. But it was as it did that Garfiel used the exposure of its weak spot to deliver the decisive blow. He projected himself straight into the pig's underbelly so he could claw and gnaw at it.
Oh my god.
A move that gave him ample time to completely gut his opponent from the stomach.
That is literally like the complete fucking opposite. That is not what happened. Oh my. I wonder why they changed it. Was it just like to like, I guess I get maybe just for like time or like just to like make it faster, like more concise? Yeah, the anime version, okay, by the way he's explaining it though, I think the anime one was way more epic. I think that shit was crazy. The way that the way he twisted that shit and just fucking ripped it, bro. Nah, I'm not gonna lie, the anime version was tough. I can see where he's coming out with like the whole like weak point, but the anime version was definitely tough as fuck though.
Now, for a bit more context behind the information Garfiel had read about vampires. The books he'd received were actually from an unknown source outside of Sanctuary.
Unknown source outside of Sanctuary? Why so vague though? Like, why?
He didn't know who it was that was sending them, but he made sure to read anything that he could.
Okay.
Mainly so he could learn to take care of whatever problem was troubling the woman he'd fallen for. So, as it turns out, one of those books just so happened to cover the topic of vampires. And it was from that book that he was able to learn that they weren't in fact immortal. Yes, they did have very impressive regenerative abilities, but even that was supposed to have its limits. Since he had already delivered a fatal attack 4 times before, Garfiel knew that it would only take 1 or 2 more times to finish off Elsa for good.
Oh my god, that makes so much sense. So like the regen doesn't last forever. So you just gotta keep going. You gotta keep going at it. You just gotta keep literally just spamming until like until she just has no more healing left, bro. What?
It didn't matter how much she tried to hide it, because the fact remained that she was approaching the limit to the amount of time she could restore herself.
Yeah, makes sense.
As the two continued to exchange attacks once again, Elsa decided the best time to share the story of her past was right in the middle of this. Unlike what we saw in the anime, strike after strike carried with it the words of her past as if they were part of a song. There was no reason for Garfiel to have heard these words during the intense fight that was happening, but somehow his mind couldn't help but perceive every single one of them. So rather than it just being the two of them standing across from each other with Elsa sharing her story, it was instead during the very dance of their battle that she spoke without even missing a beat.
That's crazy.
Given that neither could land a proper hit on the other, Elsa's story simply continued without so much as a single pause. It was only after she managed to strike Garfiel's head with a kick strong enough to send him flying into the wall that she finally took a brief moment to recount the rest of it. This wasn't because she wanted to finish her story, though. It was more so because her foot had been crushed from the impact with Garfiel's face. While this did render her somewhat immobile, the sight of his resilience had also left her with a feeling of ecstasy.
A feeling of ecstasy, huh? Interesting. Unknown source. I wonder whose domain the stranger falls under. Large library of books. It has been grooming Garfield to be part of his plan. I wonder who dropped those books. You know what? You might be cooking. But listen, bro. I think in the anime though, I would have loved to see more. Like, we did see like a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but like, I would have loved to see like more of her backstory, like an actual backstory. I know that we don't really got much time left, but like, yeah, that's also crazy though. Yeah, Elsa Garfield's 15. Yeah, someone put her in jail. I mean, she's dead, but yeah.
Eventually leading to their final exchange of words right at the climax of their battle. Now, what Elsa said to Garfield wasn't this line that we saw in the anime. It was instead something more along the lines of this. A much more endearing statement that highlights the root cause for her affection.
It is because that you will kill me, that you are my first love, Garfield Tinsel. Maybe it's just the guts, right? Yeah, it's just the guts, right, guys?
Elsa knew Garfield was going to be the one to kill her. He had proved numerous times over that he was more than capable of it. So it was because of that very commitment to do so that she was able to love him unlike she'd loved anyone else before.
Okay.
That didn't mean she was resigning herself to death, but it did showcase her understanding of the outcome of this battle. With the rest of it being pretty much the same, there's only one last thing that we need to talk about. And that's the way that Elsa had been caught off guard by Garfield. Considering what we saw in the anime, I'm sure you found this to be a bit out of character for her. I mean, someone as skilled as herself wouldn't be so sidetracked as to simply let Garfield approach without any consequence.
True.
It's not like she willingly let this happen, but the way it was portrayed in the novels made it seem like she didn't have a choice. You see, Meili getting caught up in the rubble forced Elsa to abandon everything she was doing to go and save her. She had jumped straight towards the falling debris and started slashing it to pieces. But even her godlike speed wasn't enough to keep up with the amount of rubble that was falling. So it was as Elsa was occupied with that Garfield saw an opportunity to close the gap on her, leaving Elsa with zero time to counter or even dodge. That's how Garfield ended up getting the jump on her.
Okay.
With that being it for the events of the mansion, we can now switch over to the last parts of EMILIA'S trials.
Interesting.
It was in this realm of nothingness that the only thing present was EMILIA'S consciousness.
Yeah, that makes sense. Also, that fight was crazy. Dude, I fucking Dude, I think I love how AniNews does it though. Like, he kind of like gives you like obviously like how it happened in the novels, like the fight, but he gives you like a little like to visualize on the screen too. Dude, that fight was crazy. Dude, that fight was fucking crazy. Yeah, I also want to my bad. My thoughts went to the fight. I was gonna say, yeah, we've seen this before with Subaru. The Subaru, like literally just, it's only the consciousness, nothing else. So that's what like that whole nothingness area was. So, all right, Emilia trial time, huh?
It was in this realm of nothingness that the only thing present was EMILIA'S consciousness.
Yeah.
Neither her body nor any of her 5 senses remained anymore. The only thing left was what we would probably consider to be her soul. As Emilia tried to make sense of what this place was, numerous mysterious lights started to appear from the darkness. Emilia couldn't exactly reach out to it because of her missing body, but she could feel her consciousness moving itself closer to it. It was almost as if she was being compelled to go to it.
Oh.
When her consciousness finally overlapped with one, That's when she was exposed to the first vision of the future she was bound to face. The anime's version of it cut itself off a little bit early, but what Emilia saw in the novel was herself talking about a nightmare that she knew was coming. Something she'd always thought about before, but constantly kept denying. Now that this calamity was finally here, though, the Emilia of this vision could only smile towards what's described to be the person she hated the most.
The person she hated the most? Who the fuck? The person she hated the most? I actually can't really think who the fuck it could be.
Finally,
for information, the first vision is in the castle in the throne room in the capital from the background. Actually, I'm just curious, like, on who like the person she hated the most is, though. That's
finally
interesting.
ending with a single tear, all while she proclaimed how they never should have met before.
I think I skipped a little bit. My bad, y'all.
This vision could only smile towards what's described to be the person she hated the most. Finally ending with a single tear, all while she proclaimed how they never should have met before.
Damn!
The vision after this...
Wait, they should have never met before? You know who comes to mind, bro? It'd be crazy if somehow Subaru's the one. That'd be fucking wild. Like, what if, like... what if somehow the person she loves is just, like, the person she hates? I don't know. Maybe I'm not cooking, but... I don't know. It's just, like... I think the other character Emilia can hate is Pandora. It could be Pandora, but I think it'd be crazy if it was Subaru. Like, the love aspect is gone, and then it just goes to the person that she hates the most being Subaru. Like, I don't know. I don't know how that would work in that future, but that's fucking wild. Like, what?
It's described to be the person she hated the most. Finally ending with a single tear, all while she proclaimed how they never should have met before.
Interesting.
The vision after this brings us to a despair-filled scene involving Subaru and Reinhardt.
What?
As both were standing on opposite cliffs that overlooked a forest. Subaru spoke about some kid who was supposed to be their enemy.
It's just like you said, that kid's our enemy and our wounds run deep.
He then followed it up with a peculiar line regarding how he might not be able to save Reinhardt.
I can't use healing magic, so even if we back out now, I might not be able to save you? Subaru can use healing magic here? I can't use healing magic? Let me find out Subaru got healing in the future. What?
Which makes you wonder how exactly Subaru was going to do that.
What?
In any case, both seemed rather torn on what they were supposed to do.
What's
But
happening?
it was Subaru who was most upset with Reinhardt for having saved him. When Reinhardt extended his hand to assist Subaru from the cliff that was opposite him, Subaru just kept his back turned and said what we saw in the anime, ending the second future that was sure to be brought from Emilia's choices.
That's so random. What kind of fucking future? What does this even fucking mean? What the fuck? What the fuck does that even mean? That's so, like, I don't know. What? That was random. Okay, what caught my attention though is the healing magic. Reinhardt for having saved them? Saved them from what? Super was upset with Reinhardt for... What? I know what it was. Okay, so you need to watch all of ReZero first before knowing it. Okay, so it's like a story. Okay, so I can't know yet. It's not really something I should know yet. It's a spoiler. Okay. All right. Well, that is weird.
When Reinhardt extended his hand to assist Subaru.
That's way too far back. Okay. That is weird though. I don't really know this. What the fuck that's supposed
ending
to...
the second future that was sure to be brought from Emilia's choices.
Foreshadowing? That could... Yeah, I mean, it's obviously like a possible future foreshadowing, but it's still obviously very vague, but yeah, very vague shit. That's just how Tape is. That is so vague, man. Like,
Now, with more and more lights appearing before her, Emilia resolved herself to face each and every single one of them. She would bear witness to every calamity that awaited her.
Okay.
While the anime made it seem like all of them were happening at once, what she was actually experiencing was individual visions just like the first two.
Oh.
Each showing a tragedy completely different from the last. But the way they were shown in the novels was only through the one-liners like how we saw in the anime.
I see.
If you're wondering which character said what, well, Wilhelm's voice was the one right after Subaru's. Then following that was none other than Petra.
Without that, have you not even a sword to swing, you damn thief? Yeah. Yeah, okay.
Yes, her voice was a lot more mature, but that was in fact Petra who was talking there.
Okay.
It was after this that Rom was the one talking about his granddaughter. Then Al was the one apologizing for not being able to kill someone.
Why? Wait, y'all mentioned that he has a very big role, right? In the cut content, Witch Code translations, I think. Yo, Witch Code translations gonna come in clutch. Because we haven't seen Aldebaran, right? Is that his name? Did I fuck up his name? He has a very big role, right? He's a big deal. He's very important. I don't know what the fuck it is, but you guys have mentioned his name before. And I think he's in the Witch Code translations. So that might just be cut content that we'll have to take a look in. Because that's so random. Because why him? Why is he here? Aldebaran. Okay, Aldebaran. Okay, that's interesting. Damn, so this is proof that if you're an anime only, like just fully anime, like you don't look at cut content or anything, that's just confusing. Like, why is he there? Okay.
This was then followed up with an additional line of him saying how he was going to keep that person to himself for all eternity.
Keep that person to him? Okay.
As for the next one, I'm sure you could tell that it was Otto talking about being left in the cave.
Yeah.
Then immediately after was Cruz shouting about how she refused to die to a curse. Priscilla was the voice talking about winning, and Ram was the one speaking about the kind nature of the person she wanted to kill.
That's so interesting. It's like the candidates, a mix of candidates, the knights, like people, like it's so random. It's not necessarily just like the people that Emilia's closest to. It's like other people as well, like Priscilla. That's random.
With Julius being the voice that refused to bend the knee. It only makes sense that Anastasia's was the one right after his, both of which were then followed by Garfiel. The rest of them were Roswell, Frederica, Felt, and Felix in that order.
Damn, it's just everyone. It's literally everyone. Okay.
Finally ending with Rem and Subaru in the last vision she had to go through.
Yeah, what the fuck is that Rem and Subaru shit, bro? Did she get cucked, bro? What the fuck?
When Emilia awoke in Echidna's dream world after, there was something odd about the arrangement of the table in front of her. Not only were there 6 vacant chairs currently present, but there was also an equal number of cups and treats laid out as well, some of which were still half filled with tea. So all of this went to indicate that up until recently the witches were having a tea party.
Yep.
Anyway, once Minerva had appeared behind Emilia, her immense aura and intimidating presence had caused Emilia's entire body to go completely numb.
Damn, Yo, let me find out Minerva got that aura. Let me find out Minerva got that crazy aura. What the fuck?
It didn't take more than a second for her to understand that this was a being beyond her own comprehension. An existence she felt was powerful enough to completely annihilate every fiber of her being.
Oh shit.
That much was easy to sense from the presence of such a dense layer of miasma. That said, this was the standard reaction for any normal person.
Okay.
Which is why Minerva ended up making a comment about Subaru.
Oh, okay. I mean, never fucking mind. Okay, I guess it's like I guess it's supposed to be a normal reaction, but okay. Alright.
She didn't exactly say his name, but she did mention how the boy with the foul look was the only strange one.
That boy with the foul look in his eyes, who's the strange one? Subaru different. Bro, low-key, yeah, true. Subaru was so cool with the fucking witches. Was Subaru ever scared? Like, okay, like maybe he was worried, or like obviously he got like scared by fucking Typhon fucking destroying him, but like, you know what I mean, right? Like, bro was chilling with Echidna, pretty much like took her arms like these, bro, and put her arms like that, you know what I'm saying? Subaru just built different like that.
Likely in reference to how nonchalant he was when it came to dealing with the other witches.
Nonchalant.
It was immediately after Minerva hinted at Subaru that Emilia's head perked up. She then proceeded to ask if he was the one she was talking about. A question that Minerva indirectly answered by saying this.
The instant you hear that boy's name, you perk up. That's marvelous, but you don't really have a good grasp of the situation, do you? So Emilia actually got told about Subaru there. Okay.
Whatever it was she was implying here. It's obvious that there's something much bigger going on involving Subaru and Emilia. Something that only the witches seem to know about. But anyway.
What does that even mean? What?
And Emilia. Something that only the witches seem to know about.
Why? What? What is it? The fuck is that supposed to mean? Something that only the witches seem to know about? Subaru and Emilia connected to the witches? Is it just implying return by death? Oh, okay. It's just return by death implication? That could be it. That could just be it. That's like honestly way more simple. The witches all know of it. Very good point, CT. Very good point, actually. That could just be it.
Anyway, it was after this question that Minerva followed up with one of her own. She wanted to know how Emilia felt about Subaru. So Emilia went on to tell her all about how Subaru said she loved her. It was for that reason that she was able to see him as someone who was very precious, while Minerva seemed to dismiss this answer as if she didn't care. The way she spoke indicated otherwise. It was almost as if she seemed a little bit relieved or something. As the two continued to talk, Emilia slowly became more comfortable with the incomprehensible being standing behind her.
Became more comfortable, huh? Incomprehensible being, but she became more comfortable. That's the mom. That's the mom. I don't go fuck. I'm dying. It's the fucking mom, bro. Stop.
But when she asked if she could talk face to face with it, she was met with a statement of denial that seemed to carry a lot of weight with it.
You absolutely cannot do that. If you do, my fist, which have let so many people die, will cry out.
There wasn't any hint of a lie when Minerva said that her fists had let many people die before. So Emilia decided not to push the issue any further. Instead, they went on to talk about Echidna and the final trial.
Okay.
While Echidna did accept the results of Emilia's trials, she couldn't be bothered to follow through with the rest of it. So that's why Minerva was here instead.
Oh, so that's why Minerva took the place. Like, alright, let mama take the place. Let me see my kid. Yeah, I'm going with this fucking shit. I don't give a fuck. That's the mom, bro. That's the fucking mom. Also, yeah, okay. Thank you guys for like, okay, it's like a thought that like keeps going past my head. Let me actually talk about it. She's saying this whole punching thing and this fighting thing, but she can only heal. So I don't understand how that makes any sense. What do you mean? Like, okay, maybe she means like the fist that let people die. Like she didn't act upon it. Environment damage. Oh, whoa. Wait, did he cook? Did he cook? Does Hercule cook? Because like, she can definitely destroy the environment. Very strong. Right? We've seen what she can do. Minerva's punches drain mana from the earth, causing natural disasters. Got it. Got it. Oh, that makes a lot more fucking sense. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, okay, I was like, what do you mean by like letting people die and like actually like causing like havoc, I guess, right? Because I'm like, she can only heal. She can just create an earthquake with just her fist. I mean, yeah, we've seen it. We've definitely seen, also, just her stomping her feet on the ground, like, shakes the entire fucking universe, I guess. Okay, that makes a lot more sense, yeah.
Of Emilia's trials. She couldn't be bothered to follow through with the rest of it. So that's why Minerva was here instead. She was filling in for Echidna's position as the administrator. Now, if
Mama's the administrator,
you're here for an explanation on why Minerva acted the way she did, well, unfortunately the context we're given is about the same as it was in the novels.
Damn.
The only difference was the peculiar existence of Minerva's heartbeat despite her supposedly being dead.
What? Run that by me again?
Acted the way she did. Well, unfortunately the context we're given is about the same as it was in the novels. The only difference was the peculiar existence of Minerva's heartbeat despite her supposedly being dead.
The connection between mother and daughter. I cooked. That's not love. I don't fucking know. What the fuck is this supposed to mean? What do you mean? Minerva's heartbeat despite her supposed... What?
There was also a...
Souls have heartbeat? Like what do you mean by that, bro? AniNews, you can't just throw that shit in there. What do you mean the heartbeat? What the fuck?
Moment towards the end where her wrath was starting to come out. Though Emilia thought that she'd done something to make her mad. This was more so just Minerva acting the way she normally did.
Okay.
That said, there was something about these words she said and the way she said them that just seemed so very nostalgic to her.
Nostalgic. Stop, bro. That's the mama. That part of you is so familiarity. Like, nostalgia. Like, come on, man. Minerva's ears means that she was human. And Emilia's a half-elf, which is born when an elf and a human mate. Yeah. I could kind of just guess that. Yeah. obviously. Like so like what? The dad is like a full elf, and Minerva's Minerva.
So I'm sure they were meant to allude to whatever pre-existing relationship there was between them.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it's after this that we get to the part with Emilia releasing the barrier. But part of what was cut from here relates to stuff that will most likely be shown later.
Okay.
So I think here's a good spot to end the episode, then once we come back next week we'll pick things up again from the beginning of Ram's fight with Roswaal.
I'm down. Okay, I think I'm just gonna do that for next time. I think I'll cause it's like 23, 24. It's like a mix of both. So I'd rather not get spoiled for 24 stuff just in case. So because the next cut content says episodes 23, 24. So keep that in mind.
But yeah, as always, thank you so much for watching.
All right.
If you enjoyed this type of anime,
that was really good. That was a really good cut content. Very necessary too. Yeah. Dude, I'm gonna fucking die on this fucking heel. Wow, I'm cooked. Hell. Minerva's the mom, man. It just makes so much sense. Like, everything, all of the hints, everything they're showing, the way that she acts, mentions of nostalgia. Like, that's the mom, man. The heartbeat, the heartbeat that you can't explain either. Like, I don't give a fuck, dude. That has to just be the mom, and I don't know what exactly happened. Like, I don't know what events led to the separation or Fortuna taking over. Like, I really could not fucking tell you, dude. You standing on that hill with me? Thank you, CT. I appreciate that, bro. We dying on this hill then. Like, we standing on this hill, bro. I'm standing on business, bro. It just makes the most sense, and the way that she's reacting too. I think the way she also reacted in the anime, like we saw the tears and the emotion that she felt too. Like, come on, man. No, like that's the mom, bro. That's wow. You learn your lesson. You're not taking everything at face value. Fuck, dude. I'm never gonna learn. There was like person in the comment section that was like, stop taking everything at face value. It's hard for me to not do that, bro. It's really hard for me to not do that, but I'm gonna be honest with y'all. This one right here, I'm taking at face value. Like, what else could it be? I feel like in this, at least here, with the information we got so far, I kind of just have to take it face value and say that's the mama. That's the mama. That's just what makes the most sense to me, at least right now. So, all right. Well, I mean, what else? The fucking oh yeah, the fight was crazy too. The Garfiel Elsa fight too. The details went crazy. I mean, that fight overall was actually really good too. We'll see what happens. We'll see. We'll see what happens next. Cut content. Cause it's a combination of both. They're in an anime yet. Okay. All right. Don't spoil me, bro. It's all good. All right. Well, yeah, we're not gonna find out until the end of the fucking series, probably. Yeah, probably the end of the series we'll get our answers. God damn it, bro. Yo, Tabe with his fucking mysteries and just leaving shit for... I'll let him cook. I'll let him cook. The author's cooking right now, man. That's gonna be it for today's cut content from AniNews. Another W cut content. Thank you so much, AniNews, for this content series. Very, very peak, man. If y'all enjoyed these reactions and you're new, subscribe. Leave a like down below. The full uncut version to all ReZero content will be on Patreon. As always, have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time. See you guys.